Hey friends, how you doing? Today I've been thinking a lot about how I went from being an addict, laying in my bed at night, just thinking about how I'd get more drugs, how I can scheme or scam, or who I can steal from, or who was getting a prescription, who I could go and get heroin from, who I could get drunk with every night, to sleeping peacefully and waking up rejuvenated. So I've been thinking about this a lot because that's really where I feel the most change, is when I lay down at night and I know that I've done good, and I know that I was a good person that day, and that I can sleep peacefully and wake up rejuvenated. So to start, I mean, there were nights when I would just seriously lay awake all night just waiting for 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. when I could ride my bike down the street and steal drugs out of the neighbor's house that I knew had drugs. It's that feeling, that disconnect, that discomfort of not being okay with my own head and convincing myself that it's okay, like I'll be fine once I get drugs. I'll be fine once I get drugs. Was all because I knew in my gut it was the wrong thing to do, but in my head I justified it. I was like, well, I need it. I just don't feel good without them. Once I just have that, I'll be better. So this disconnect between the gut and the head, I think a lot about. If you can act in a way that you know in your gut is right, do the right thing for the right reason, I always say, you have a lot more peace in your mind so that you can be a lot more happy in your life. So some habits that I use to kind of put this into practice are just kind of go through a gratitude list every night. Just lay down, like, what am I grateful for that day? And then if you want to be a better person and you care about your interactions with other people, go through your interactions for the day, your major interactions, who you talked to, who you were short with, who you weren't the greatest with, who you might have been a little bit, rude to, or could have been nicer. And think about how you acted in that situation and how you could have acted better. So eventually, once you go through this, a handful of times over a month, what you'll start to see before it happens, how you acted. So say you were going through your day and the first person you met you were nice to, but the second person you met you were short with, the third person you didn't hold the door for, and the fourth person you just didn't even respond to because you were just sick of talking to people. Well, when you lay down, you think about it, you're like, oh, well, I was really nice to that first person, so that was good. But the second person, I was a little bit short. I could have gave them 5 more minutes of my time. And then the third person, definitely I could have held the door. That takes like 10 seconds. And then the fourth person, they were having a bad day, and I should have taken the time to talk to them. So by doing this, I started to see the interactions and how I was a part of that interaction, my half the street, before it happened. So maybe like somebody said something to me, and I could see that I was going to react a certain way, and I changed my mind, and then I acted a different way. This disconnect, you start to create space between you reacting and then how you want to react, or you reacting or you acting the way that you want to be the person that you want to be, was a really big step for me over the course of the 2 years that I was in prison. So just be nice to people, and then think about where you could have been a better person every day. Start practicing these things. Hopefully you'll be able to sleep better. Hopefully you'll have a little bit more peace in your life. I don't lie awake very often at night. Occasionally things will come up, and I'll have racing thoughts or whatever. I mean, that part of me, it didn't go away completely, but I know how to deal with that now. So if there's something that you want to make a change in your life with, make that change. I mean, find somebody who has done it, or knows what they're talking about, or that you admire, and reach out to them. Just say, hey, like, I'm really unhappy about this area of my life. How can I be better? What did you do to get better? What are some steps that I can start taking so that I can feel better about myself? And then from there, you're off to the races. Thanks, friends. Be passionate, fearless, relentless, and kind today. Bye.